Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to Duality 7X. I wanted to give you guys some updates regarding Jon Jones and his bid of wanting to be on the UFC White House card. If you guys remember some time back, actually for quite some time, Jon Jones has been trying to plead his case to Dana White, to the UFC, to the fans around the world that he wants to return to the UFC, but more than ever, he wants to fight on the UFC White House card. It's going to be a historic night, a historic event. Should it go down, I think it's kind of safe to say that it is going to happen. There's obviously a lot of layers and complexity when it comes to putting this event of this size and of this stature together. And of course, it doesn't make things any easier seeing that the security is going to be at its highest, considering all the things that are happening around the world and all the global uncertainty. Of course, US and Iran are locked in a very serious battle here, war, and it doesn't make things any easier, of course. That said, that said, looks like this fight is gonna. It looks like this card is gonna happen, and it's gonna happen on June 14th, on the eve of America's 250th birthday. And Jon Jones wants nothing more than the opportunity to be able to compete, even if this is his last match. He wants it, and he wants to do it there. Now, Dana White, if you guys remember, did say that the odds were 100 or sorry, 1 billion to 1 that Jon Jones was going to be on that card. There's been a lot of history between these two, a lot of ups and downs, but a lot of mutual admiration and respect as well, right? And so now it appears that Jon Jones is actually negotiating with the UFC to be on that White House card. And what's really interesting is Alex Pereira, okay, just vacated his belt at the exact same time. You could call it a fight announcement, but it isn't really a fight announcement because nothing is actually official. But there's a strong possibility we might see Jon Jones and Alex Pereira fighting one another at the UFC White House card. How epic would that be? Right? I mean, this is this is what we refer to as legacy, folks. Okay, this is politics, leverage, star power, celebrity power. I mean, everything and anything. And then you also have the president of the United States weighing in on this, and then you've got Dana White, probably one of the biggest promoters in combat sports. I mean, there's a lot of layers here to peel back, guys. But I mean, this could be potentially the most symbolic event in UFC history. So back if you guys remember on July 2025, okay, just last year, Jon Jones was done. He was done. He was retired, finished, moving on until he heard one thing, that the UFC was planning on an event at the White House. Now, that started to get the gears going again in Jon Jones. Uh, he started to get excited as if he just kind of started his UFC MMA career for the first time. I mean, the UFC to plan a White House card at the White House and like a fight night at the White House is surreal. It's never been done before. It's very interesting because when we talk about these kind of fights, we talk about uh, the the excitement and the hype and the marketing that goes into finding, into hyping up a fight. The fact that this fight is going to happen at the White House is absolutely unfathomable. I mean, nobody would have ever thought in their wildest dreams that something like this could happen. I mean, now we also have. I just did a video. You could see my video with Alexander Usyk taking on. He's going to be taking on Rico Verhaven, who's a very famous, legendary kickboxer. He's had about 60, 76 fights or something like that, and he's won all of them but 10. And these guys are going to. So you got one of the most elite boxers in this era, Alexander Usyk has beaten everybody he's come across. He's undefeated, and he's going to be taking on the most elite fighter when it comes to kickboxing, Rico Verhaven, like a super fight, right? Coming together, but it's going to be a professionally sanctioned fight by the WBC for the WBC Championship of the World. This is for Alexander Usyk's WBC belt. And it's all happening, guys, all happening on the 23rd of May. It's going to happen in Egypt at the pyramids in Giza. And I think that's the backdrop, guys, right? So when I think about the White House card, an octagon with the backdrop of the actual White House, and then I'm thinking about this boxing event that's going to happen with the background being the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. These are the kinds of things that are going to like just break the internet. So who wouldn't want to be on that card, right? And so when Jon Jones heard that news, he said that I'm in negotiations with the UFC about this White House thing, and I'm very proud. I'm a very proud American, and I cannot wait to represent one more time. That doesn't sound like a guy considering options. That sounds like somebody who's in his final chapter and wanting that opportunity so he could close the door on his legacy, on his career, and write that final chapter in his book. And if we're being honest, for a fighter that's simply obsessed with legacy, this isn't about another belt, guys. This is about immortality in the world of MMA and combat sports. Fighting at the White House, guys, isn't just historic. It's going to be symbolic beyond proportions, right? So then when we go back to Dana White's comment about 1,000,000,000 to 1, saying that the odds of Jon Jones fighting is just not going to happen, not unlikely, not even slim, 1,000,000,000 to 1. I mean, guys, this is the UFC's language for saying not happening, which meant something changed. And when Dana changes his stance publicly, it's never just random. It's strategic. And so the question comes down to is what changed? So on the same weekend, guys, that Jon Jones confirms negotiations with the White House, isn't it ironic that you have the current champion, UFC champion, Alex Pereira vacating his light heavyweight title? Isn't that ironic? I mean, Alex Pereira won the light heavyweight title with such a decisive victory against Magomedov. Happened in the first round, 47 seconds, I believe, or 1 minute something into the first round, and he took him out. It wasn't even close. And Alex Pereira, even prior to that fight, was actually flirting with the opportunity of moving up to heavyweight. That's interesting. So this is big because all of that happened the same time that Jon Jones has finally confirmed negotiations are going on in the back end between him and UFC about this his possible return to the UFC. White House card. That's a lot to put in one sentence, guys, right? And so anyways, I mean, this is and then okay, so here's the other thing. So if you guys are still not convinced, Dana White just confirmed Yuri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg to fight for Alex Pereira's vacant belt at UFC 327. Just think about that. Why would Alex Pereira vacate his light heavyweight championship title? Why would he just do that? Okay, fine. He's flirted. He's about the opportunity of moving up to heavyweight one day, and it seems like the heavyweight division's in a little bit of peril. It seems to be wide open right now, lots of opportunity. But I mean, it's not like Alex Pereira just made that decision now. He's been talking about this for quite some time. Now, all of a sudden, he vacates his title. He lets it go. He relinquishes his title. so he can compete in the heavyweight division, which is kind of okay. All right. But then on the eve of that news, Dana White makes this announcement that now Yuri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg are going to fight for uh, Alex Pereira's vacated title. That is super interesting, guys. And then Jon Jones is now officially in talks with the UFC about his return to the UFC White House card. If you guys start to kind of align the stars and connect the dots, I think we're heading towards a showdown between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira, guys. It's no, I mean the odds on. I think that's what's happening. And if anyone's got Polymarket, check it out because I guarantee that's what a lot of people are betting. Now just think about it. Pereira recently weighed in at 243 pounds. Excuse me. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's tall. He's big. And I mean, going from 185 to 243. I mean, Alex Pereira was kind of like, on the edge of cruiserweight, light heavyweight. And now, I mean, to put on like, um, almost 60 pounds. Guys, I mean, yeah, that's a big bulk move, but that's a move, guys. That's a serious move. And then, of course, Ariel Helwani, the very famous Ariel Helwani reported, officially confirmed that, I mean, this is what Ariel Helwani is saying, but Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira at heavyweight on the UFC White House card. Now, that is timing at its best. Jones is not chasing the money as per se. I mean, everyone wants the money, but he's chasing legacy, right? And Pereira wants a third division title. He wants a third unprecedented division title. Now, and that's legacy. So he's chasing legacy as well too. By winning a third title could be, I mean, that put the cherry on top of Alex Pereira's career, right? And the UFC, meanwhile, all they want is hype, spectacle, and they want a lot of that marketing to come their way because that's all going to equate to a recipe of big dollars. And it's going to make big, big economic sense. I mean, this checks every single box, guys, right? So we're not just talking about two champions. We're talking about the optics, the hype, the marketing, everything that's going on into the back end. All the puzzle pieces are moving and, into place for a potential showdown, guys. A potential showdown between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira at heavyweight on the UFC White House card, June 14th, right? Now, the UFC, right? The UFC is putting in a lot of effort and money into making this making this card happen at the UFC. $60 million fight card is what we're reportedly hearing. And so yes, it's going to be historic and it's going to be symbolic and it's going to be big, big money. All right. Probably one of the biggest, most hyped fights this year for sure. And maybe, depending on how things go, this era. It's never been done before. This White House card, I mean, up until recently, I've been doing a lot of videos on this, and there was a lot of comments and a lot of people saying that they still don't think it's going to happen. It just seems like a big novelty type event that just, it's good for bringing in a lot of hype, a lot of marketing, a lot of excited fans, creating more discussions and dialogue between people, and definitely putting the UFC and MMA on the map. But a lot of people don't feel that this card was going to happen, and it seems like we're getting closer because there's already been fights announced, right? So this is great. I mean, this is, I think it's beyond novelty here. I mean, the UFC is a legit fighting combat sports MMA organization. Just the location is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be at the Apex Center. It's not going to be at the T-Mobile Arena or Madison Square Gardens or in Qatar or Saudi, Riyadh. We're talking about we're talking about fighting in front of the White House, in front of the President of the United States, his administration, and all the star-studded celebrity and people that are going to be in attendance to watch this event. This is going to be the greatest, uh, probably it's going to have the greatest MMA talent around on that card, right? I mean, you've got just between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira, you've got an American icon, celebrity, star-studded status in Jon Jones taking on a Brazilian MMA global superstar when it comes to the world of MMA and combat sports. I mean, you've got power versus IQ, you've got legacy versus ambition, you've got all the headlines and storylines that you can think of to make this a recipe of success, right? And if you thought this is more than just a fight, then you're right. This is a statement. This is going to be a statement fight, right? Both of these guys are chasing big time clout, big time legacy. Alex Pereira made the ultimate sacrifice. Fighters like Alex Pereira have done this many times before, but it's still quite rare. When somebody relinquishes their title to fight somebody else in a different division, be it a lower, like, be it a lower weight class or higher weight class, that tells you something about the seriousness and about how committed that fighter is. Because it's not just as easy for Alex Pereira to say, okay, here's my lightweight title, I don't want it anymore, now I want to fight for a heavyweight title and I want to fight heavyweight fighters. And oh, by the way, I'm 185 pounds, but I'm just going to casually increase my weight by 60 pounds and to make this fight happen. There's a lot of layers of effort and complexity that goes into training, dieting, cutting, increasing weight. It's not easy. It puts a lot of stress, a lot of burden on the body, and in some cases it could be disastrous. Health-wise, it could be really bad. Some fighters don't even recover, right? So this is why there's a lot of things happening in the background to make this fight potentially happen. We just need official confirmation that it is Jon Jones and Alex Pereira. But I think, it's safe to say, and I mean, the part that we can't really ignore is when somebody like Helwani comes out and says it. It's almost written in gold, guys. And I mean, there isn't a ton of positive momentum right now, but I think we're getting close to it. And once people know that it's official, the negotiations have concluded and it's been confirmed, and then it's just whoa, like just watch the marketing go crazy, watch social media blow up, watch the internet just having its thing over this fight. And this is just one of many fights that's going to happen on the UFC White House card, right? There's still talks about Conor McGregor returning to the UFC and potentially fighting somebody at the UFC White House card. That's just intense. Khamzat Chimaev has expressed his interest in wanting to fight. There's rumors about Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington. I mean, there's a lot of things happening. But actually, sorry, Covington just kind of came into the mix, but there's a lot of speculation that Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev are going to be doing the dance at the UFC White House card. That would be crazy. That would be internet meltdown just on that fight alone. And now you throw in Conor McGregor. And now you throw in Prochaska and Carlos Ulberg. Well, no, they're going to be fighting at UFC 327. But you throw in Jon Jones and Alex Pereira. Just those three fights alone. Which fight would be the main event? Which would be a co-main event and a co-main event? I don't know. All those fights could easily be a main event, right? And so, anyways, usually when it comes to Jon Jones and comes to negotiations and contractual obligations and things along those lines, sometimes it gets a little complicated with Jon Jones. This is why the history between him and Dana has been kind of somewhat up and down. It's one of the many reasons why that's kind of happened. But this is not complicated. I mean, sorry, it's complicated beyond complicated, but it definitely looks like something's going to happen. Money definitely matters, guys. Control matters, but legacy positioning seriously matters to both of these fighters, right? So anyways, if Pereira really is making that move to heavyweight because it hasn't officially been confirmed. He's been talking about wanting to do it. That's why he's subsequently vacated his title, and all these other things are happening in place. And if Jon Jones really wants that one real defining moment to close off his chapter in his book, then the UFC sincerely has a lot of leverage here to make this fight happen, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it becomes the biggest spectacle in MMA history, right? So just remember, Dana White once said it was 1,000,000,000 to 1 for Jon Jones to return to the UFC. That wasn't a dismissal. That might have been negotiation positioning. That might have been the catalyst to move Jon Jones from wherever he was in the world to come to the table, kneecap to kneecap, and talk about this, you know, and to see where those negotiations actually end up, right? So it's not really whether Jon Jones is going to fight again potentially. It's whether or not the UFC wants to take the chance in inviting probably one of the most controversial, successful fighters, probably one of the most gifted champions that we've seen in combat sports and MMA, right? Probably headlining, okay? Probably one of the most symbolic historical events that's ever been attempted, and that too, headlining, which means all the other fights would be co-main events or something along those lines. That's a huge, huge honor. And so, anyways, guys, I think if Alex Pereira definitely steps in to the octagon at heavyweight, we're probably not just going to watch a fight. We're going to be watching chaos, chaos evolve into something bigger than we can ever imagine, right? So forget about the rankings, forget about all that legacy architecture and all that kind of stuff. We just need to get this signed, confirmed, and then it changes everything. And then I'm telling you guys, social media is going to be completely unhinged. So there's my take, guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Put your thoughts and comments below. And on your way out, please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe and hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat. And drop your predictions because I want to read as many of them as I can. So thank you guys for sticking around, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.